Awesome. Welcome everybody to our 5th week of Happy Feet. This is our first week of resistance training for balance, part 1. So next week will be our second part to our balance series. Just showing on our itinerary here. And why do we want to do resistance training for balance? Resistance training for balance can improve blood circulation, helps you control your balance, so it can help with walking, different activities of daily living, a lot of your overall lifestyle. It can also help with peripheral neuropathy by improving that blood circulation. And it also improves and can benefit your fall risk. If you're at a fall risk or have some pretty bad neuropathy in your feet, it can help with that. Kind of just a preface for today, we will need a pillow or some sort of soft material you could stand on that's a little unstable. You don't want it to be too unstable, but like my pillow is pretty firm, but also a little bit squishy. We'll stand on it and be holding it out front. So you could also use maybe a thicker blanket. You could put some jackets or thicker blankets and jackets together to stand on them. Maybe use a rug or like a bath mat that you could fold over that just provides a little bit of instability. So go ahead and gather that one, just going through these couple slides. All right, resistance training for balance. How do we actually do this? You'll notice today during the workout, we'll be doing some movements that are in different planes. So a lot of our movements are usually just forwards and backwards, but today we'll be doing some side movements, some backwards, a little bit of everything. And so you can train resistance training for balance by adding these movements in different directions. This shows a lot in our daily activities, like if we're going up the stairs, if we're having to walk forward or walk backwards, changing different directions. It's a skill that's difficult to learn sometimes, especially if you do deal with some side effects from treatment that you are on or have been on in the past, especially when there's neuropathy in your feet and your ankles and your feet might not be as stable. But this is exactly why we practice it, right? You know, we can also add in those uneven surfaces like we will today, adding onto blanket, thin pillow, carpet, different types of materials. To practice balance and kind of get that proprioception in your feet. And you can also do some one-sided movements. We'll do a lot of one-sided movements today that are really focused on slow and controlled breathing through them, making sure we're able to not only engage our core to help us stabilize during these balance exercises, but to also make sure we're breathing through the exercises to keep that blood pressure lower. As always, I always go over this slide with Happy Feet. This is super important to work into our exercise sessions, whether you're practicing on our own or whether you're practicing with us in today's session. Our rate of perceived exertion, or RPE scale, is going to be how difficult it feels to complete an exercise on that scale from 1 to 10. So 1, you are laying down on the couch, watching TV, reading a book, relaxing, you're nice and calm, cool, collected. And 10, the highest on the RPE scale, you are running from a bear, you're running as fast as you cannot exert yourself anymore. During today's workout, and when you do resistance training on your own, really think about each of the exercises and maintain or try to maintain that RPE of about 4 to 7 in that middle range. Really listen to your body. And if it seems a little bit too easy where you're on that 4 to 5 side, maybe it's time we increase that resistance, which kind of goes into our next concept of self-progression. Self-progression is where we are slowly increasing the resistance or weight based on how hard the exercises feel using that RPE scale or that scale of 1 to 10. I'll walk us through just a quick week by week of an exercise program as if we were in Happy Feet or if you were doing a program on your own, and when you would want to start to increase your resistance. So for example, on that first week, we are using a 20-pound band or maybe a light band. Our repetitions maybe at 12 if we're focusing on resistance training for strength or endurance. And our RP is going to be at a 7 or an 8 because maybe we haven't done this before and our body doesn't really know how resistance training feels, doesn't really know what to do with the extra resistance. Second week of our program, our weight is still going to remain the same. Repetitions are still going to remain the same, but naturally our RPE may go down to a 5 or a 6. This may not always happen on the second week of the program. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. It really just depends on your history with resistance training and how often you're doing it and how consistent you are. But moving into that third week, our weight's going to stay the same, repetitions are going to stay the same, but our RPE is kind of on that lower end of where we want it to be, that 4 to 5 range. So therefore, the next week or the next exercise session on that fourth week, we're going to increase the weight, which is going to increase the external stimulus to our muscles, and therefore it's going to be a little bit harder for us and increase that RPE. That's kind of how we make progress in resistance training and really build muscle. So a little summary at the bottom is just when RPE decreases, we increase the weight and maintain the repetitions. Just a couple other housekeeping things I like to remind us every single week. We want to try and sandwich upper and lower body exercises so that our muscles can get a nice little break in between each of our exercises. We want to try and refrain from resistance training multiple days in a row because sometimes it can take 24 to 48 hours for your muscles to recover from an exercise session when you're doing resistance training with alternative weights. We also want to make sure you're always doing a proper warm-up with some stretches at the end, because when we warm up, we get our blood flowing, get that heart rate going. We really warm and prime our muscles for the resistance training, which is why the warm-up is super important. And during the actual resistance training, we're breaking apart those muscle fibers so they can build back even stronger after we recover, which is why we want to do the stretches at the end to elongate those muscles we just contracted so much during the resistance training. And finally, as always, we're going to use that RPE scale to track how each exercise feels. And also each exercise session, you can also be thinking to yourself after the session today, okay, how hard was that on a scale of 1 to 10? And maybe if you're at that 4 to 5 range, maybe next Happy Feet, we try and increase some of the weight or go to a higher resistance band. Some other safety things, just some reminders. Safety is always our #1 priority. If you have any side effects you're feeling right now, let's just be mindful of them during today's session. So if you may be a little bit more dizzy today because of treatment or a procedure, let's go ahead, take it a little easier. Maybe try some of the different modifications. And always take breaks often. Like I just said, try the modified version. I will be reminding you guys to take consistent water breaks as well. And as always, listen to your body. And if you need to stop at any point, you're more than welcome to. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into the best part of today's session, the exercise. We're going to go ahead and start off with some warm-up exercises. We're going to start with our toe to calf raises. I think we've done these pretty much every session at Happy Feet so far, but I will always demonstrate the exercise before. Our toe to calf raises, we have that chair in front of us, shifting our weight onto our toes, squeezing our calves, lowering down, shifting onto our heels, lifting our toes up. And the modification is going to be the same exact movement on the edge of our chair, nice tall posture, shifting our weight onto our toes, squeezing our calves, lowering down and onto our heels. If you can't go through the full range of motion as well, or need to just do a calf raise or a toe raise, that is totally okay. We're going to go ahead and start with our first set of 10 if you guys want to follow along with me. Onto our toes, onto our heels. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep a nice strong posture. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Can shake out your legs a little bit. We have one more set of those for our warm up. Want to make sure we're getting our blood flowing, getting some movement. This may be the first time you move today. That's totally okay. Just happy you're here with us. Go ahead, get into our second set if you guys want to get ready. And you can follow along with me, shifting our weight into our toes. Squeeze the calves, lower down onto our heels. Awesome. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. You guys can go ahead and take a seat for our next warm-up exercise. This is one we have not done yet. So go ahead and watch me before you try. This is going to be a seated cat-cow with a scap squeeze. So our arms are going to be out straight. Palms are facing away from us as if we're pushing something away, but our shoulders are going to be nice and rolled back in this good posture. As we inhale, we're going to push our palms away, round our back, pull our shoulder blades apart, and then we're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, looking up towards the ceiling. You guys can kind of go through this at your own pace, going nice and slow through this range of motion, making sure that as we push away, opening our shoulder blades away from each other, we're inhaling, and we exhale, squeeze our shoulder blades together. We're going to do 10 of these just at your own pace. If this is a little too much for you, we can just go ahead and do just the scap squeezes without the full range of motion of the cat-cow. This is number 6 for me. We're just going to do 10 here and then take a little bit of a break. 7, 8. Awesome. Everyone on camera looks good. 9. Last one for me. If you got a couple more, no worries. You can go ahead, drop those arms if you're done. We are going to do one more set of those so you guys can stay seated. You can kind of shake out the arms a little bit, maybe do some wrist circles. That's what feels best to you. Get a little bit more blood flow. And if we're ready, we're going to go ahead and do one more set of those, either just the scap squeezes or the cat-cow. And this time you guys can follow along with me. Inhale, pull the shoulder blades apart, tuck the chin, and exhale, pull the shoulder blades together, look up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, last one. Really pull those shoulder blades apart and squeeze them together and relax. Awesome. You guys can shake out your arms a little bit more there. Our next warm-up exercise is going to be some toe taps, so we can start to add some different change of direction. So for our toe taps today, these can be done standing or seated. We're going to do 5 repetitions, but for our toe taps, we're going to have the chair next to us with our fingertips on it. shift our weight into the leg that's closest to the chair. And with this leg, we're going to go forwards, to the side, back, and then we're going to reverse it. Back, tap, side, tap, forward. And that's going to be 1 repetition. All right. We're going to do 5 on one leg, 5 on the other. The seated modification is going to be the same movement. You're going to be scooted to the edge of your chair. And we're going to go forward, to the side, and backwards. And then reverse it as well. Really make sure that when you guys are doing this, you're using this chair for support, and we're shifting all of our weight onto that stabilizing leg. So this leg is really just moving to tap back to center. We're putting all of our weight in my right leg, whichever leg you guys choose first, and the chair, okay? Here we go. Forward, to the side, and back. And now we're going back, to the side, and forward. Awesome, that's 1. Forward, to the side, and back. Awesome, just keep going at your own pace, really trying to keep yourself stable. We really want to warm up a lot of our stabilizing muscles here. They're really small, but they're super important when we're practicing balance. So you may notice in this leg, you may feel it a little bit, and that's totally normal, just because you're working it really hard to keep yourself stable while we're doing these toe taps. Almost on our last one, you guys. We're only doing 1 set of these, and that was 5. You guys can go ahead and relax, shake out that working or stabilizing leg. And then I'm just going to move my chair to the opposite side, since we want to make sure our chair is on that side that we're using that stabilizing leg. When you're ready, we're just going to shift our weight into that stabilizing leg, take some weight off of the other one, and go ahead and start moving forward, to the side, and back. Back, to the side, and forward. Awesome, that's 1. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, you're always more than welcome to take some of the pressure off of the chair, but just know it's right there just in case you guys need it for support. That's 3. Almost there. 4. Last one. You guys got it. And our first exercise is going to be seated today. Awesome. And relax. Shake out those legs a little bit. Don't know about you guys, but my stabilizing muscles, we're definitely feeling it a little bit. Grab some water as well if you have not already. Our first exercise today is going to be some ankle flexion with our resistance band. So we're going to be seated in our chair, and we're going to take probably a pretty light resistance band. We're going to be working a lot of small muscles, like I said earlier, a lot of muscles that probably aren't worked a lot in your day-to-day lives. So we're going to take our resistance band. We are going to loop it around kind of the top to midpoint of our foot, and we're just going to hold on to the other end. You can hold it with 2 hands, 1 hand, it doesn't really matter. But as we exhale, we are going to push our foot down into the ground and then slowly lower it back up. Push our foot down, slowly lower it back up. This is going to be working a lot of the small muscles that are used during our balance and when we're walking that we don't always get to work. If this is a little too challenging for you, you can just take that resistance band off, have that leg straight, and we're just going to focus on pushing down. All right. We're going to do 10 repetitions per side. Here we go. Exhale, push down. Inhale, return. Exhale, inhale. Awesome. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. You guys can relax. Switch it over to the other foot if you're using your resistance band. Loop it around the top to midpoint of your foot. And we'll go ahead and start with our next set on our other foot. Exhale as we push. Inhale, return. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. You guys can relax, take that off, and we are going to basically go right into the other foot. So go ahead and loop this back around that first working foot. Whenever you guys are ready, we're going to inhale and exhale, push away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and relax and switch it right over to that other foot. This is our last set of 10 here. Inhale and exhale, push away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Go ahead and relax. Our next exercise is going to be standing. We have a different march variation than we have done so far. So for this variation, you're going to need that chair next to you on that stabilizing leg, just like we did with the toe taps, except we're going to raise our opposite arm up to the ceiling. And I apologize you can't see it, but it's up there nice and straight. All right. You can't reach your arm all the way up. That's okay. You can just bring it to right here. We're going to shift our weight into that stabilizing leg, keeping our hand on our chair. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our elbow towards our knee. If you can't reach it, that's totally okay. You can just bring it here and inhale, lower back down, tapping that toe to the ground. So we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Awesome. Everyone on camera looks great. The modification is going to be the same exact type of movement, but seated. So we have our left arm up to the ceiling, left knee, trying to reach both of them. Still exhaling as we bring our knee and our elbow together. This is also a little too difficult for you. We can just do some seated marches, really focusing on using that hip flexor. So for these, we're going to do 10 repetitions again, each side, making sure I'm going to be starting with my right leg is my stabilizing leg, but you're more than welcome to start with that left leg. We're going to bring that arm up. Awesome. Everyone on camera looks great. Shift our weight into that stabilizing leg. And when you're ready, we're going to big inhale and exhale, squeeze. Inhale, extend. Awesome. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Using that hip flexor and our core to pull our knee. That's 8. 2 more. 9. Last one. 10. Awesome. You can relax that arm. I'm switching my chair around, and we're going to do 10 repetitions on that opposite leg. So shifting our weight into our stabilizing leg, bringing that opposite arm up, and big inhale to prepare, and exhale and squeeze. Awesome. 1, 2. Remember to use that chair for support if you need to. 3, 4, 5, 6, almost there. 7, 8, 9, last one. 10, awesome. You can relax. We're going to still do another set of those, but you guys can take a seat if you would like to give your legs a little bit of a break. We're going to take about a 30-second rest here. Grab some water if you need to. I know that one we're moving a lot of different things. It's a highly compound movement. And this is also a great opportunity for you guys to think about that RPE scale over that first set. So thinking about how that set went, maybe it was in that 4 to 7 range, which is awesome. But maybe if you're doing the modification and you're in that 4 to 5 range, maybe we can try the exercise. Or maybe you did do the exercise and you were like, whoa, that was too hard. I need to try the modification for the second set. And that's totally okay as well. But we are going to get set up for that second set. Just a reminder, make sure we start on that first leg. So I started on my right leg, which is why I moved the chair back. We're going to shift our weight into that stabilizing leg, having our hand on our chair for support, arms going up, big inhale to prepare, and then exhale and squeeze. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. 10, awesome. You can relax that side, moving over to the other leg, switching my chair to the other side so that our chair is with our stabilizing leg, shifting our weight into that leg, bringing that arm up, Inhaling to prepare, and we exhale and squeeze. 1, awesome. 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway. Y'all got it. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. 10, awesome job, and relax. We are all done with that exercise. And for our next one, this will also be a standing exercise with a seated modification, and we will need our pillow or whatever objects you have to create an uneven surface. If you don't have one, that's okay as well. You can still do it. Hopefully you guys can see that. My pillow's on the ground, but since this is an upper body exercise, I'm just gonna angle my camera so you guys can see my upper body. You will also need a resistance band. I recommend going a little bit lighter here as well, just because we haven't done this exercise before, and also our center of gravity is gonna be a little bit off balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and step onto my pillow with my resistance band looped around kind of the midpoint of my forearms. Awesome. Everyone looks like they're there. So with this, we're going to keep some resistance on our band. So right now, the band is pulling my arms in, but now I'm pushing against the resistance of the band, kind of like how when we have the resistance band around our knees for a squat, we want to push out against the resistance band. So this is me relaxed. This is me pushing out against it. Awesome. We're going to push out, keep our palms facing in. And as we exhale, we're going to push up. If you can straighten your arms, that's awesome. If you can't, that's okay. And lower it back down. Awesome. Everyone on camera looked perfect. You guys can go ahead and relax. I'm just going to demonstrate the modification real quick. So for our modification, we're going to have you guys actually sitting on the pillow. It's not a huge difference to just sitting on a chair, but it does kind of throw off your center of gravity a little bit and hopefully help engage your core. Same exact thing here. We're going to have our resistance band around our forearms. And as we exhale, keeping that tension up and lowering back down. All right. We got 10 repetitions. If you guys want to follow along, we'll go ahead and take a big inhale to prepare. And exhale, bring those arms up. Inhale back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is too difficult as well, you can just take that resistance band off. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, last one. And 10. Awesome, and relax. Definitely felt that in my arms. I don't know about you guys, but definitely was feeling that a little bit, and also a little bit in my back, which is exactly where you want to feel it. This is also another great opportunity to use that RPE scale. That was a little bit more difficult than you thought it would be. Maybe you go down to a lighter band, or maybe we just go through the range of motion and don't use a resistance band. I also just want to show up close kind of where my resistance band is. I know I said like the midpoint of my forearm, but you really don't want your wrists to be coming in. You want to make sure your arms are nice and straight. So if you need to lower that resistance band down a little bit closer towards your elbows, to keep your wrist from coming in like this. Let's go ahead and do that. Awesome. Everyone on camera looks good. Perfect. With that being said, since you guys are already in position, we can get going for our second set. Inhale to prepare and exhale, push away and return. 1. Beautiful. Awesome. Everyone looks great. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 2 more. You guys got it. 9. Last one. And 10. Relax. Awesome job. You guys crushed it. You can go ahead and put this resistance band away. Shake out those arms a little bit and also grab some water. Our next exercise is also going to be standing, but with a seated variation. And I promise our last exercise is seated. Don't worry. We've been doing a lot of standing today with all the balance. I get it. So I know we have done a side lunge before, and last week we did a side lunge with a march, but we have not done a reverse lunge yet. So for our reverse lunge, we're going to do a reverse lunge with a forward tap. So that way we're hitting different planes of direction, just like we talked about. So I'm just going to demonstrate the reverse lunge first, since we haven't done it. And move my camera down just a little bit. So for our reverse lunge, you can have that chair in front of you if you would like. I usually like mine to the side, but I am just going to demonstrate without the chair right now. So your hands are either on the chair in front or to the side, or hands are on our hips. And we're going to step back as if we were stepping into our split squat position, where we're taking a big step back, and then we just want to drop this back knee to the ground and return to center. So taking the big step back, drop the knee, return to center. We want to keep our eyes forward, shoulders rolled down and back, good posture throughout the movement. So for today, we're going to do all of our reverse lunges on one leg and then all of ours on the other. So we're going to step back into our reverse lunge, and then keeping the weight in that stabilizing leg, just like we practiced, we're just going to tap forward. So reverse lunge, tap forward. This is why I like having that chair to the side. So if I were facing you, I'd be stepping back, using that chair, tapping forward.
Hi. Are we going to do one leg at a time, or we're going to do the opposite as when we do that tap?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are going to do one leg at a time. So everything on our right leg or our left leg, whichever you guys want, and then move that chair to the other side and do the same on the other leg. For our modification, we're going to do a hamstring curl or a leg extension with a toe tap. So for our hamstring curl, we're going to bring that leg, scooch to the edge of the seat, bring that leg up, return, tap forward with the toes, return. For our leg extension, you'll be scooted more towards the edge of the seat, kick out, tap forward. Those are our two modifications for our seated versions. And like I said, we're going to do 10 on one leg, 10 on the other. So I have the chair next to me on my right side, shifting my weight into my right or stabilizing leg. Other hands on my hip or by your side. And we inhale, step back. Exhale, return. Tap out front. That's 1, 2. And if you can't go down all the way to the ground, that is completely okay. You're more than welcome to just take a step back and step forward and then tap forward. This is 5 halfway. That was 7. Make sure you guys are keeping your eyes facing forward. 8, 2 more. 9, last one. 10, awesome. You can switch that chair to the other side. Another quick little note here, when we're doing our reverse lunge, we want to make sure our front knee does not go over our front toes. So you can see when I'm stepping back, a lot of my weight is in my glutes and also in this back leg. So my knee's not going forward. It's staying nice and straight in 90-degree angles. All right, shifting our weight into that other stabilizing leg, hands on our hip, and we inhale, step back, exhale, return, and tap forward, back to center. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Almost there, you guys. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Awesome. You guys can relax. If you'd like to take a quick seat to take some weight off your legs, we got one more set of those. Take a little bit of a rest here. I know that was a big movement, and when we have it done, this is another great opportunity for you guys to use that RPE scale. So if those seemed a little bit too difficult or a little bit too easy, you can always try the exercise or the modification on the second set. Take another 10 to 15 seconds of rest here. So if you want to start gathering yourself to do our second and final set of these, you are more than welcome to. And just a reminder, make sure we're starting on that first leg. So I started with my right leg, moving my chair to the right side. And if you are joining us standing up, let's go ahead and stand up and get ready. Shifting our weight onto that stabilizing leg. Let me actually scooch up just a little bit. Hands on our hip, and we're going to step back as we inhale. Exhale, stand up, and tap our foot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, 2 more. You guys got it. 9, last one. 10, awesome. Shake out that stabilizing leg. Switch our chair over to the other side. And this is our last set of 10 here. Shifting our weight onto our new stabilizing leg. Hands on our hip. And inhaling as we step back. Exhale and tap our foot forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway. Guys, got it. 6, 7, 3 more. 8, 9, last one. 10, awesome. You can go ahead and take a seat if you have not already. Grab some water as well. I know we exert ourselves pretty hard on that one. Our last exercise is going to be a core focused exercise. I know you guys did a little bit of a core exercise last week as well, but this time we're going to take that pillow or sweatshirt or whatever you used originally for the overhead press, and we are going to scoot to the edge of our seat, and we are going to try and hold this out front with our arms straight back. As we inhale, we're going to keep our back straight, slowly lower on a 3 count towards the chair, tap our shoulders, and exhale, pull ourselves forward. The modification for this is just simply dropping that item and keeping our arms across our chest or our hands on our thighs, slowly lowering back, exhale, pulling ourselves forward. We have 3 sets of 10 repetitions here. So we got 3. Arms out straight. When you guys are ready, let's go ahead and slowly lower back as we inhale, tap our shoulders, exhale back to seated. That's 1. 2, really focus on trying to use your core to pull yourself forward. 3, 4, make sure we're keeping our back straight. 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. 10. Awesome. You can drop that item. Give your arms a little bit of a rest. We have 2 more sets of those, and then we are going to get right into our cool down stretches.
Yay.
You guys have crushed it today so far. I know balance isn't super easy all the time, but it's super important, and you guys are doing awesome. All right, we'll take about 10 more seconds here. So if you want to go ahead and grab your item, if you're using one, to hold out front. For our crunches, let's go ahead and get it out front, making sure we keep that good, proud posture, pretending like a string is pulling us up from the middle of our heads. And we inhale, lower back, keep the back straight. Exhale, pull ourselves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, last one, you guys, 10, and relax. Give your arms a little bit of a break. We have only one more set of exercises today, and then we just got some cool down stretches to elongate those muscles again. Take another 10 or so seconds here. You want to go ahead and grab that item if you don't have it already. That would be awesome. And we'll put it out front, arms nice and long. Whenever you're ready, you can inhale, drop those shoulders back with me, and exhale, return to center. That's 1. Last set, you guys. Y'all got it. 2, 3, really focusing on our breathing here. 4, 5, 6, 7, awesome. 8, 2 more. 9, last one. 10. Awesome. You guys can relax. Put that item to the side. You will not need it anymore. Everyone gives yourself some snaps, some claps, some pats on the back. You guys made it through your first balance session. Y'all crushed it. We're going to do a couple cool down exercises. First one is just our simple neck stretch, since we did do some upper body today. So I'm taking that right hand to the opposite side of my head, dropping my ear towards my shoulder, very, very gently pulling, or bringing that chin more towards our chest, almost as if we're smelling our armpit. The opposite arm can just kind of lay by its side, hang off the chair, or put on your thigh, really whatever feels best. And really focus on taking big inhales through our nose, exhales through our mouths, trying to lower our heart rate a little bit. We'll hold it here for one more breath. And slowly release, bringing it over to the other side. Same exact thing, very, very gentle pull. And bringing that chin towards our chest. Focusing on our breathing here. Except this time we're trying to slow it down a little bit if it picked up during that exercise session. And 3, 2, 1, relax. Awesome. Our next stretch today, we have a trunk extension. This is going to stretch some of our upper body as well. So our arms can either go behind our back, interlocked, or you can hold on to the sides of your chair. I'm just going to have mine interlocked, and we're going to pull our hands together, push them away from us, opening our chest towards the ceiling, looking up. Once again, if you need to hold on to the sides of the chair, or if you just need to keep your hands on your thighs and look up, you're more than welcome to do so. If this gets a little bit too difficult, you can go ahead and relax and drop your head and your neck a little bit, give them a little bit of a break. And then when you're ready again, take a big inhale and look back up to the ceiling. We'll hold it for one more breath. And go ahead and release. We have a hamstring stretch today since we did a lot of hamstring work. So I'm scooted to the edge of my seat. I'm going to extend one leg out with my heels pointed towards the ceiling and place my hands on top of each other, keeping a straight back. And I'm just gonna hinge forward until I feel a stretch in my hamstrings. And I'm not very flexible in my hamstrings, so this is about as far as I can go with feeling a stretch, and that's completely okay if you're right here too, or if you can reach a little bit further, that's all right as well. With every exhale, maybe see if you can lengthen yourself a little bit more, trying to keep your back nice and straight. Take a couple more breaths here. And go ahead and relax, come up and out of this. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, planting that heel, pointing our toe up towards the ceiling, stacking our hands on top of each other. And as we exhale, we're hinging forward. And this side may feel a little bit tighter, or it may feel a little bit easier, and that's completely okay. A lot of us are not always flexible the same type on both sides. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and relax, return to center. And that is all I have for you guys today on our 5th week of Happy Feet. Great job, you guys crushed it, and thank you for joining.
Yay.